So those of you who follow the channel at a closer level beyond, oh yeah, Millward, that guy that does the F1 stuff, you'll know that I'm involved in esports, and I'm part of the official rFactor 2 broadcast team, commentating on their GT stuff as well as other bits and pieces within rFactor 2. But recently Studio 397, the people behind rFactor 2, released the Formula Pro car, a car that's sort of all the best bits we love about old F1 cars, but with bits that we'll expect to see in 2022. And with a slightly updated tyre, it means this car has to be driven somewhat properly, rather than the typical rFactor 2 drift into every corner to be quick approach. So while I'm covering the Formula Pro pre-show and covering GT Pro in full, it left me free on a Friday evening to actually attempt to take part in one of these bi-weekly races, driving as always for Zanjo Simsport alongside 3 other guys from the team in Ibrahim Khan, Arnash Gunfleet and Tony Mellor. So just as a quick explanation, the way the series works is that before the season starts there is a hot lap qualifier, and when that ends the leaderboard is split into 26, and then the top 26 make up split 1, the next 26 split 2, and so on until everybody's in a split. Then every 2 races the top 5 best performing drivers move up a split, and the worst 5 move down a split. The way it works is that this then feeds into Formula Pro, which is modelled after real Formula 1 in that there are teams and 2 drivers per team, 13 teams, 26 drivers. And Rocket Simsport, which is part of the Zancho family, is already in that series. Zancho will have to qualify through Tony, Ibra or Arna being one of the top 2 drivers in Split 1, or assuming that, say, another team like Burst has the driver win the series or finish second, then it just moves down to the next eligible driver, if that makes any sense. So anyway, I qualified high enough to be back of pack Split 2, and I managed to pick up a podium at Spa, which was the first race of the season. Yeah, I don't get it either. And a bunch of people no-showing for race 2 in Split 1 meant that I got to move up into Split 1 as the competition system automatically fills in the missing slots with the best performing drivers from Split 2 again, if that makes any sense. So anyway, on to the race. This is my home circuit, Silverstone, which is about an hour away from me, and a track I know like the back of my hand. I think I actually do know it better than Bathurst, and that's my favourite track in the world. But the talent levels in Split 1 will be higher than what they were in Split 2, so I ended up qualifying a lowly 18th of 26th, which is actually not too bad for me. I can't qualify and I really need to get better at hot lapping. So here we have the grid lining up after the formation lap, 45 minutes of racing ahead, and it's a timed race rather than a lap based one, but like I said, I'm starting 18th. On the right hand side of your screen you might just see the Zan of Zancho. On the left hand side there, Alejandro Lopez just figuring out where his grid slot is. So I thought I'd take you on board for the first lap. Lights coming on, getting ready to go, lights go out, dump the clutch, away we go. Car ahead getting a very slow start, so I'll just go to the left hand side and almost make contact as he tries to block me off, so I'm now in behind the Butler Pal Motorsport car here as a Volante car goes for a bit of a spinneroonie. Up to turn 3 for the first time, cold brakes, heavy braking zone, just trying to keep it all under control, just letting anybody through, just want to survive lap 1, because you know what it's like into tight corners in sim racing, but I managed to just get the position back. And then I was immediately on the radio saying I'm getting absolutely crucified in a straight line, and then Jan van der Heide, who drives for Rocket, was in my ear just saying, turn your engine mixture back up, because I'd left it in safety car mode for the formation lap just to save a little bit of extra fuel, but managed to get my performance back. Just jostling for position coming through Luffield now. Get the power down, this car has a lot of torque, spins very easily on worn tyres. Through Woodcut Bend, past the old start-finish line, up to the famous Cops Corner, and then just that position gets given back, gets sent a little bit wide, but virtually every sim racer I've talked to in the aftermath of that crash said if someone's going down the inside at Cops, I'm just taking to the tarmac, there's no point in trying to fight it. Just trying to find my way on the cold tyres, heavy with fuel. Getting the position back again as a bit of a half spin onto Hanger Straight. We only had one DRS zone because something got messed up in the track files, so only had DRS down the Wellington Straight, but it's not been turned on yet. Through Stowe Corner now, 2 cars off to the left there, up towards the pit lane entrance, and then into Club. So I'd gained a couple of positions, lost a couple of positions, and then gained them back as it was just absolute scenes here at Vale. Cars missing their front end, so let's take another look at that. So this is Jan Grankvist and Colin Spork, Grankvist in the blue car, Spork in the red car, just tripped over each other a bit like Albon at Silverstone in 2020, and just front wings lopped off. There's me going through, Grankvist and Spork make contact again, and Spork just getting swamped by cars left, right and centre, almost 4 wide into turn 1, and how there wasn't a crash here I will never know. So I've just started lap 2 here, coming into turn 1, there's cars battling up ahead, so I'm just trying to watch the moves that they're making, and I think I get dive bombed down the inside, there we go, by one of the Volante cars, and then I just get a bit too greedy with the right foot, have a half spin, but manage to get it straight onto the tarmac on the exit, round the outside of turn 3, and that actually put me from 14th at the end of the first lap back down to 18th where I started. But thanks to the constant battling up ahead, I'd managed to catch them back up by Maggots and Beckett's, but I made the slightest mistake, just clipped that sausage curb on the inside, had a wobble, and then Grankfist was able to get back round the outside, up the hanger straight, and I was just thinking, yeah, I'm just going to let him go. A, he's faster than me, and B, you know, I want to survive. Still lacking confidence on the brakes in this thing, it's very, very sensitive, you know, like a proper open wheeler. But because this is a ground effect car, you're not actually hurt too much by dirty air, as I watch Grankfist and another car battling just ahead. Grankfist was the main car I was battling throughout the race. You know, I was actually able to keep with him. DRS now open as we come out onto the Wellington straight, but something in his car got more straight line speed or something like that. But the Zancho car, the way we'd set it up, it was better through the twisty section, but sort of struggled a bit, and then a bit of biffing and barging, and then I take to the inside here, opportunistic move through Luffield, get the power down, got the better exit. Now I'm going to try and get some slipstream here, there it is, as we come up to Copse Corner, the scene of that smash, and I managed to get down the inside of at least Grankfist and some tyre smoke. What's that's happened ahead? It appears that Paulie Ahonen has recreated Lewis Hamilton's pro gamer move. Oops, I knew that looked familiar. But the carnage wasn't over yet, because Ibrahim Khan, who was leading the race, had this happen to him. And by some miracle, Arne Schonflit was not damaged. Well, I mean, like race-ending damaged by that crash. Davin Rocek took over the lead for Burst Esports, but at least Arne was still in the race. But he was pretty much alone, because there was no way I was going to get to the front. And then it was almost my turn to go and live on the farm as we came through Brooklands and Luffield just after Arne and Ibra came together. Grankfist spun and I had to go for the only gap that was available, and he just clipped my rear suspension. No real damage, but I was able to continue. The anti-stall kicked in and saved my bacon on that occasion, but flicked the auto clutch back on and I was away. But then I got the position back about 30 seconds later. That's an F out of 10. So we're on about lap 13 by now, and I was on the radio asking about the undercut, but then these two drivers took themselves out, so I gained a couple of positions that way, and then you'll just see Grankfist go slightly wide at Luffield, and I'll just take the position back. I then got the call to pit. One thing to note about the entry to the pits at Silverstone is that you enter at high speed and it's hard braking. I don't think Alejandro Lopez was paying attention. He lost his front wing and had to serve a penalty on the next lap for speeding in the pit lane. I dived into the pits about 10 or 15 seconds later, brake up that little bit of tarmac, that was my reference point. Nicely slowed down, locked up, doesn't matter, I'm getting rid of that rubber anyway. And you can see the wear on the tyres, which is a nice cool feature in rFactor 2. There's Lopez getting his car repaired, I pull in, there's collision in rFactor 2, which is something that people don't realise if they've come from iRacing or ACC. Build the revs, wait for the lollipop, well the non-existent lollipop to let me go, and away we go. Nice stop, it was about 8.4 seconds fuel and tyres. I was released directly into the path of Alejandro Lopez, well, Alejandro Lopez Arjona to give him his full name, and I was thinking, this guy's a lot faster than me, he's going to breeze by into turn 3, but he didn't. He must have picked up so much damage that I just pulled away on the exit. He is a god on the brakes. Well, most of the time anyway. And I was released into clean air, so all I had to do was just chase that dot in the distance. But while I was chasing, I was being chased by Roberto Pignataro. He in turn was being chased by Grankfist, so it was almost like a four-way scrap for 10th place. By this point I was in 12th, but that blue car that's ahead of me actually had to pit as he was running a two-stop strategy. The accepted strategy was soft for half, and fuel accordingly. Some people did try to take the mediums, but they're just too slow, and they are trying to balance the tyres a bit better. So I was gifted 11th through a pit stop, and then I was gifted 10th when Carlos Martin, who was battling here in the Netrex car, just gave it a bit too much beans on the exit of turn 4, spun his rear out, and then lost his front wing. He'd eventually finish 17th. Despite having a half spin at Woodcut later on in the race, Arna managed to cross the line in first place, taking him up to second in the championship and hopefully getting Zancho a little bit closer to that Formula Pro spot. Jim Paresis took second for Edge Esports, and Noah Roivers, the FSR Pro Dominator, took third for Netrex. Robin Pansar was fourth for Burst, with Adam Rainey, also of Netrex, in fifth place. Davin Rocek for Burst was in sixth. Pavel Andreyevsky was in 7th for PLS, followed by Stoyan Barbakov, who finished in a quiet 8th. Dan Overbranthom just beat me to the line in 9th, a couple more laps and I probably would have had him. And then there's me there in 10th, bookending the top 10. So this has been a highlight reel from Formula Challenge Split 1, Race 2 at Silverstone. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumb up, and if you want to see more highlights from this series, in lieu of me live streaming it, because I don't really want to live stream with the way things are going. If I live stream, I crash. If I don't, I do well. So I think I'll do highlights instead of live streaming it. But if you want to see that, let me know in the comments, like the video, and subscribe if you are interested in seeing highlights of Formula Challenge. And if you want to see screenshots from Formula Challenge, if you want to see other Zancho related pornography, or you just want to chat in Discord, as well as support me on Patreon like the fine folk of Patreon do. I've neglected to put you in this video because it's just been so hodgepodge on a brand new project and I haven't got the time to copy all across, but I am grateful. And if you want to join them, like I say, join Discord, all that other stuff, it'll all be linked in the description box for you. So until next time, I've been AdmiralLaWind. Have a great day wherever you live in the world, and I'll see you all again soon for another video. So until then, goodbye.